How big of a piss do you think Justin's taking right now?
Probably medium. His balls are pretty small, so he can't hold that much.
This movie's gonna flop, our mind's about to pop.
But enough of that noise!
Time for the B-roll, boys!
Welcome to another cookie munching episode of Burrow Boys. Justin, I know you love it. Wow. Speaking of, here's my milk drinking host, Justin.
Hey.
And my eggnogging host, Harlan.
Ho ho howdy.
Eggnog fucking sucks.
That's true.
Almond eggnog, if that's what you call it, is pretty good.
I've never had it.
I have some in my fridge and it's good.
Nice.
Dude, you got some nut nog?
I do.
Hell
So
yeah.
But
anyway,
it sucks just as much ass as regular eggnog.
no, it's good.
Today I made myself, Justin and Harlan pay separately to rent 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yep, we paid $2 each.
Yep, so we gave this
It was
movie a
good, though.
grand total of $6.
That was a $2 well spent. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, this was a great time.
It's a lot better than I remembered it being. Like, I last saw this when I was a teenager, and I just remember it being, like, way shittier, but, like, it's fucking funny.
Is this the perfect movie for the show? Because, like, this was good, but, like, not so good that I don't have anything interesting to say about it. Because, like, I took a decent amount of notes for this, and, like, I feel like this will be, like, a worthwhile episode, you know? But, like, I was never bored watching this, you know?
Oh, I was just about to ask. If Harlan wasn't bored, I think automatically that's Bureau Boy certified.
Tiny little bit.
Oh, God, here it comes. Here it goes.
I mean, it's one of those where I think that we're laughing with the movie and not necessarily at the movie.
Yeah, totally.
Because,
don't
like,
think
what
they
kind
meant
of
this?
poop... So this has got, like, pretty low ratings on stuff. Like, what kind of poopy butthole is watching this and being like,
Oh, this isn't my taste. This isn't serious enough. This isn't a good enough movie.
it's like, this is on its face stupid. But
Apparently,
it's
a
great.
lot of people took it seriously.
I guess it
honestly
depends
think
on
it's
the
better-
review site.
I think it's better than Thanksgiving.
What?
I'm not going to go that far because Thanksgiving is a fucking treasure. But this, I guess, would be the
mean,
Thanksgiving of Christmas movies for sure.
This and Thanksgiving are so, like, they're similar, but Thanksgiving is, like, way more off the wall than this. Like, they're kind of, they're similar, but they're kind of also trying to do what they're doing differently enough that, like, it's hard to compare them, you know?
Thanksgiving has kind of like a trashy Kung Fury vibe, and this reminds me of like one of the weaker Stephen King movies.
Yes, this very, very much
It's like
gave me Stephen
Cujo
King
with
vibes.
titties.
Yeah.
You see a lot of
dramatically
titties
elevating
in
it.
this.
You see 3 separate pairs of boobs.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
You get get no variety at all.
No, you see 4. You see 4 pairs of boobs. Actually, put that on the box cover.
You see so much feet. This is a Tarantino
That's
movie.
right. So there's 4 sets of boobs. That's 8 boobs.
Count them.
Check it out.
Check your math on that.
That's 1 boob every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got
And
the
also,
same thing.
also,
You're
like,
going to question my boob math?
Also, like Justin said, every time there's like some sort of sex scene, it always starts at the feet and then pulls back.
Every single
God
one.
intended.
Like,
Every
you
time.
know,
Like, it's not a coincidence. It's very intentional that they were like wanted you to focus on the feet and be like, oh.
maybe he didn't care if we focus on the feet. He wanted to focus on the
Well,
feet.
the first time it's kind of like, oh, what's happening here? What sort of mystery is unfolding? And by the third time, you're like, oh, they're fucking. Got it.
Yeah. What else
you
could
see
these
their feet, and you immediately know.
You get conditioned to fucking, just like how this kid got conditioned to violence with Santa Claus, and also fucking.
That's true. It kind of goes through this guy's whole life like a Forrest Gump saga for the first half of it.
Say his whole life. I mean, it goes from when he's like 4.
Well, it is his
8.
whole life because he dies at the end. It's a pretty short life.
We don't like see his birth.
You see the important parts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
ages
we-
4, 8, and 18.
I mean,
What
we didn't
landmarks?
we didn't see every time Forrest Gump took a shit. We don't need to see every waking minute.
that's true, Justin. I don't know why you're like being so hard on this.
I'm just saying they didn't exactly go through like the greatest hits of his life.
Well, it was all of his life. He grew up in like a nun orphanage. He drew
Also-
and like was spanked, and that's it.
When he becomes an adult, he looks a lot. He kept reminding me of Freddy from Scooby Doo.
Oh
Gave me
yeah.
those
kinda
vibes,
does.
like really
Oh,
hardcore.
He also has that like goofy Yor vibe where every time he's on screen, you can't just help but being like.
This movie has
like
so
that-
many. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he has that barbarian face.
Oh yeah. And this movie has so many lookalikes, whether, you know, they were like celebrities or like people that we know in our lives personally. There was a lot of actors that we were like, hey, he looks like we saw one guy that looked like George Bush and John Goodman fused into one person.
The two Bushes and John Goodman.
Yeah, all at once.
Lil Bush.
Yeah, this movie takes place in Universe 6, where everything is almost the same, but the people that we knew were in the movie.
Yeah,
Like
it's very Uncanny Valley.
sidebar, can one of our rap names be Lil War Criminal?
That's all you, man.
Because you talking about George Bush made me think that.
Yeah, the detective
Anyway,
guy just
so the
straight up
start
looks
of
like
this
George
fucking
Bush.
movie.
So we cut to a station wagon, which is what you want to see at the beginning of your films, and they're off to visit Grandpa in the Utah mental facility.
It's like 1971, man. That was the whip.
That's true. They had the family truckster up to the Utah mental facility, and
Wait, I just need to say.
Is it not a retirement home?
no, it says Utah mental facility.
Wait, I just need to say. I started saying Ghost Ride the Whip to Anna last night. And she won't. She keeps trying to kill me every time I say it. I'm like, Anna, like we were playing golf with your friends, and she totally sucks at it. And I'm like, Anna, just Ghost Ride the Whip, man.
Ghost Ride the Whip, man.
I feel like your relationship with Anna is largely comprised of you saying stupid shit to gauge how angry she would be.
100%. 100%. Okay, sorry to totally derail the show.
You're like, hey Anna, pop my shit like bubble gum, and then she slits your throat like Santa.
Yeah, I'm just testing the limits every day. Anywho,
But
yeah.
we get to the mental facility, and Grandpa Jimmy,
stroke.
the facility. Grandpa Jimmy is just a
faculty.
creepy old fuck. Like they're visiting here, and like, why do we have to be here at Christmas? We're not going to make it in time for Santa.
That
They're like,
dude's
just-
woke, man.
Yeah, they're like, be nice to your grandpa. He doesn't even know we're here. And the kid's like, why the fuck are we here then? Which is like a very apt question.
For a kid, yeah.
That is something like a little kid would ask, though. Be like, what the hell's the point?
Yeah,
I would ask that now. Why did you bring me here?
Well, they like leave him alone with the grandpa for a second. They're like, we're gonna go. We'll be right back. Stay here. And then like as soon as they leave, Grandpa like stops. He drops the act, and like apparently like he's not senile. Like he's totally like lucid. And he starts telling our main character Billy. He's like, "Oh, you're afraid of Santa Claus? You should be afraid. He punishes little kids that are naughty."
Yeah, he forewarns Christmas tidings about how fucked up Santa is.
And I just want to know, like, why he did that. Like, did he do it? Like, does he genuinely believe that? Like, is it like perpetuating a cycle, as the movie kind of later implies, or like?
I think you're thinking too deep into this.
Or just like,
Perpetuating a cycle.
yeah, or like
It's about the cycle of the universe, man.
every
Frequencies,
27 years.
man.
the only alternative I can think of is that this grandpa is just a major dick, and he just said that just to fuck with his grandson.
Well, so he just sat in this asylum for 10 years, staring at a wall, not saying anything, for his grandson to finally come in, so he could just fuck with him about Christmas.
I guess.
That was his whole thing. Like, everybody just thought he couldn't even fucking talk.
Maybe it's because he thought the kid was like a spoiled prick. Because they come in and he's like,
Hey man, where's my PSP? I don't want to look at this old fuck. Why are we here?
and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with him. Santa will kill you if you're. Santa punishes you if you're naughty.
Yeah. So he
Also, this
basically
guy looks a little young to be like super out of it, right?
he looks like he's like 65.
I was thinking like early 60s.
Yeah,
I thought he was like 18.
that can happen.
No, that's the
Probably
30-year-old
works
later
in
in the film.
retail. Am I right?
Not him.
So he plants the idea in Billy's head that he should be afraid of Santa Claus, and then we cut to this other guy, totally unrelated, who robs a store, and he's dressed as Santa Claus. He walks onto the set of Clerks, asks for a pack of smokes, and then just like he just fucking like Wes said,
he just fucking plugs him.
Well, he double
Brains this
taps
guy
him.
for $31. He does double tap him.
He does a double tap, like he shoots him in the chest. He
John
falls on the
Wicked him.
ground.
Two in the chest, one in the head.
And then, he cleans out the register, and it only had $31 in it. And then, he shoots him 2 more times while he's on the ground.
Yeah, and he seems mildly perturbed by that. Wow, $31.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't just take a human life or anything.
At like a gas station.
It's like it probably is like, wow, what a prick, and he just drove away.
And then he drives off. Yeah. And then, like, his car breaks down, and that's where Billy and his family come in. They, like, pick him up. And shit hits the fan, you know?
Yeah, they see Mr. Santa Claus just in a broken down car on the side of the road, which happens to be the one that just murdered the clerk. And they're Christmas tidings. They're going to give him some help, but I don't think the Santa was as nice as we thought he was.
Au contraire.
He shoots the dad in the fucking face.
His dad didn't know what the fuck was going on. He gets domed immediately.
If that weren't bad enough, they try to drive off once he pulls out a gun, and he shoots the dad in the forehead, and then so the car gets stuck in a ditch, and Billy, who is how old is he at this point? He's
4.
8. Oh, is that young? I don't remember.
In the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 5, and I think he's 5. Because it's
Okay.
3
It was
years
5,
later
6,
into
something
the
like that.
5 years later into the orphanage, and then it's 10
Okay,
years,
yeah,
and he's supposed
somewhere
to
around
be
there.
18, so he'd be 5.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a toddler. He's a little kid.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah, so his dad just gets shot in the forehead, and he just fucking ditches his mom and his baby brother. He just
about to
bolts
head
out of
out.
he just
Actually-
bolts out of the car and hides.
Maybe that's more backstory on the grandpa. He has these deep-seated survival nom tactics.
You think that kid paints himself up like Rambo, and he's just if he wasn't in the orphanage, he would just go and search for the Santa that killed him.
Yeah, he's just straight up survivalist mentality.
Oh, but I mean, right after the dad gets killed, the car drives off the road, and the guy after Billy runs away, this asshole Santa pulls the mother out and just rips her shirt open, and while she's screaming, I guess. No, he hits her in the face and knocks her out, and then he slits her throat with a switchblade. And Billy's just watching the whole time while his little baby brother's screaming in the car the whole time. And I was like, "What the fuck? This is horrible."
Yeah, she really hit the fan fast.
At this point, they were questioning my choice, and I was like, "Hold on, it's gonna get."
It's
gonna
the
get
first
better.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly. You guys are judging a book by its cover already.
I mean, I wasn't judging it from this scene. I was judging it initially because it was a horror movie about Christmas, and I thought that didn't sound the greatest.
yeah,
but
just
I'm
the
not
name
gonna
by
lie,
itself.
I kind of love it.
yeah,
That's right.
It was
you guys
really good.
fucking love it.
I was pretty confused though, because we flash forward a little bit, and he's living in a Catholic orphanage, and they all drew something for class, and he shows his drawing, and it's Santa with 12 different knives in him, and there's a decapitated reindeer, and it's the orphanage that he's lived at ever since his parents got murdered, him and his brother, and they're and they see this drawing and they're like, Billy, what the hell, man? And
This is just
they
This
know
is the
his
sixth one
deal.
this week. God damn it!
Well, they know his deal. Why are they? And they go to punish him. They're I don't know, put him in timeout or something. And they're like, you need to be punished for this drawing. And it's dude, you know why he did that. This kid needs therapy. What the fuck?
It's hardcore. They're trying to just stamp it out of him because they don't want him to be a little shit when he grows up.
Yeah.
and he dresses like Wayne from Letterkenny.
He does, and he's got this sweet mullet,
He's got it tucked in like
a plaid shirt,
and then yeah, he's got them
high
big ass
waisted
work
jeans, and he's going chorin'.
He's half going short. Yeah, it just gives a little more of his life into the orphanage, and that he's just getting beat by this Mother Superior just constantly.
Oh yeah, Mother Superior, by the way.
Considering his parents were just brutally murdered in front of him 2 years prior, they're giving him specifically a lot of shit.
They're like, walk
Yeah.
it off, pussy.
Yeah, this kid
then,
really
like-
can't catch a break.
After that, he heard like two people fucking, and he goes and like checks up on that, and he sees him, and then they beat him for just even watching. They're just like beating him left and right.
I'm like, what kind of shit is this? Oh, and
You
they
know-
also try to get him to like sit on a Santa's lap, but he's got hardcore PTSD from when every time he sees a Santa Claus, he just like flips his shit, and he's just screaming and having a fit, and obviously, understandably so. And Mother Superior is like, no, you're gonna be polite, you little fuck. God.
And just starts beating him with a belt.
And then he just, when he's on Santa's lap, he's like, no, I don't want to, no. And then he just fucking decks Santa Claus in the face, and he knocks this bitch to the ground.
Yeah, this
That
dude
was
has
a
got.
hardcore punch, dude.
He's got some
Dude, he's
Falcon
like-
Punch strength, and then the guy he's got like fucking blood, Pulp Fiction blood coming out of his nose.
Yeah, this kid's like fucking like 10 years old, and he fucking decks this Santa and knocks him on his ass. It's great.
Fucking socked him one. And then, and then yeah.
He's like Little Mac.
That was his fully charged punch. 'Cause he just fucking knocked out the Santa.
Oh, and of course we got the
Yeah.
classic whoosh sound effect again. Just like the
You know-
20th movie we've watched with that.
I will say, like that. So yeah, like everything we've talked about so far has been like this movie, like setting up that like this kid associates like sex and violence both with Santa Claus. And I was surprised at like how well I bought that it set up this trauma for this kid. You know, for a movie like this, I didn't think they'd put that much care into like making me believe the trauma that this kid went through.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was very surprised.
I'll give it that.
It
And, like-
gets to the point like really quickly, but it doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel like
Totally, yeah.
It's not something like World War Z where they just set up a scenario, like a backstory for him for no reason, and it just feels like, okay, why is it here? It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes through a pretty cut and dry. Just warping through his life, because like right after he knocks that Santa out is 10 years later, and then he's 18.
And that's when he looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
They also make a point to show how tall he is because like it's like 8 years later or whatever, he's 18 years old now. And he like we see the one of the nuns from the orphanage like is talking to the toy store owner, and she's trying to get him a job there. And he's like, "Oh, I don't want a job. I don't want to hire a kid. Like I need someone big and strong to lift these boxes and shit." And she's like, "Oh, well, check him out." And the camera like starts at his feet and like slowly goes up. And I guess at the point is to show us like he's very like physically capable now.
They just want to show how built he is.
Yeah.
dreamboat.
But yeah, in the moment, it feels like they want to show him off as like a Ken doll type thing, you
He
know?
does kind of look like a Ken doll.
Meanwhile, he's like,
He's just got this like dipshit look on his face.
Yeah,
he
the
does
guy,
kind of
like-
give me your vibes.
As soon as the toy store owner sees him, he's like, "You're hired," and Billy's like,
He's like, oh wow, he's gorgeous. He's hired.
yeah.
$3 an hour, stock boy.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to imply that the store owner was gay with the way he like immediately like
Because he was
changes his
simping
tune.
over him hard.
Yeah, but that doesn't really go anywhere. So I guess that's not the case.
Things
Well,
were
I think
different
that
back
they're trying to show that the owner's the boss, whatever, is kind of an asshole because they see there's like a montage of this kid like lifting a bunch of heavy boxes while the owner just sits on his ass.
then. Oh yeah, that's true. Because like right after he gets hired, they have like this minute-long montage of him just working in the store, set to like the most just standard Lifetime TV show montage music.
Yeah.
And then there's one like fantastic sequence that I love. I think the manager's got like liquor in the store and he offers the kid some and he's just like, nope, and he's got a carton, he just shows that he's got a carton of milk.
He's like, "No thanks, I got my skim milk. I'm good."
But yeah, so everything's
He's
right
not
with
that
the
lame.
world.
He drinks like 1%.
Everything's right with the world. Everybody's having fun. You know, they all like each other. And then, December rolls around.
And they got Jabba the Hutt toys.
Oh, dude, do they ever? I saw that in the back of so many shots. I'm like, I fucking want that.
Wes was like, I want a toy store.
I need to have that on my desk right now. But yeah, so they start rolling out the Christmas decorations, and the manager just like unrolls like a banner with Santa Claus's fucking face on it, and then Billy is literally shaking. He's like shaking with rage.
And it's like the most like
No, he like
cutesy
literally
picture of
falls
Santa.
over. Yeah. And he like literally like falls on his ass just from looking at it.
Like any Santa face you've ever seen on like those cookie tins, it's like that same face.
He's got like a
But he's
big,
like-
jolly face and like a bright red nose, like a little smile and everything. It's the cutesiest thing ever. This kid's like, ah!
It sends him into a murderous rampage.
Well, that's not what sends him into the murderous rampage. It's
Well,
later.
it doesn't help.
Oh yeah,
But
it
in the
definitely is
meantime-
a stepping stone.
I do want to mention that also when he first sees this drawing of Santa and he falls on his ass, his coworker who he kind of has a crush on like helps him up, and she's like the one who's kind of nice to him, you know. Like everyone else is really frustrated because he's acting weird because it's Christmas time, but she's like, "Are you okay? Like you seem off. Do you need something?" You know, like she's being nice to him, trying to be cool about it.
Yeah,
But alas.
she was cool at least. He even
And
had
he
a
fucking
dream.
kills her later.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
did not spare her from Santa's axe.
Because he had a dream that they were like having sex, and then she got murdered by Santa.
Yeah,
then so-
he wakes up like Wolverine did in X-Men Origins. He's like,
Yeah, then he like curls up into the corner, and his claws come out.
"That's great."
But yeah, so the next day, well, presumably the next day in film time, they need someone to play the store Santa Claus, and they're like, you know who's buff, who's built enough to play Santa Claus? They get fucking Billy, and you're like, oh shit.
The reason they did
this-
that is because he was trying to like call out for the rest of the month because of the Santa thing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I broke my ankle ice skating," and they're like, "Well." Oh wait, was it him that called out, or was it someone
No,
else?
it was the actual guy who was supposed to be Santa. He like actually broke his
okay,
ankle.
I misunderstood
Yeah,
that part
so-
then.
so
Okay,
you, you confused me for a second there. I was like, what? Did that
I
happen?
thought that it was trying to say that he was like trying to duck out of work because he didn't want to have to deal with Santa Claus. But then they're like,
guy
"Oh, well, you don't
ducked
have to. You don't have to be on your feet to be Santa," kind of thing. That's what I thought.
That would have been the
was.
smart thing for him to do. Was just not be there. You know.
It's like, yeah, I've got COVID. I want to be out for a month.
Topical.
Yeah, so
Ah,
all they
Okay,
all they
but wait.
wanted to do was cover a shift.
Wait.
That's all he had to do.
No, this led to like probably the only like unintentionally funny part of the movie for me is that like they they dress him up as Santa and then like after they like get him like, you know, and get the ball rolling and he's like had a couple kids on his lap. One of the nuns calls the store and she's just like, "Whatever you do, don't dress him up as Santa Claus." And they're like, about that.
That's like his tick. That's his thing.
Yeah, like you don't think you should have mentioned that? Like he'll fucking go ape shit if you
Well-
have him anywhere near Santa.
It's a weird thing to mention, like if she's getting him hired in like June, but like
Like, why have him work at a toy store if you know that this kid loses his shit around Santa?
Have
not-
work at Starbucks or something.
not that as much, but she should have taken the dude aside. It's like Mother Superior, the anti-Santa one or whatever, it's not like she set it up. It was the nice nun. So she
Yeah.
should have fucking known better. Should
Yeah.
have been like,
Also,
yeah, she's the
nice nun
reasonable
my
one.
ass, man. This other nun is like looking like all doe-eyed at him, like, "Oh, that's so sad." But she never does anything. Like while he's getting his ass beat, he gets like tied to a bed and everything. She never does anything past just being like, "Oh, that's not nice," and then does jack shit.
yeah, that's the best nun you can get.
Fuck that nun. She's a piece of shit.
What a bunch
She's
of
complicit.
nonsense.
No, she's complicit in their horse shit, and she should be killed.
I think the funniest thing about that, like the not speaking of unintentionally funny, when they first bring him out in the Santa suit and they're all looking at him in the mirror, like, "You look great." He's just like looking at himself with like the biggest, widest fucking eyes ever. Yeah, it just looked so funny to me.
Yeah, I will say I thought it was a little weird that we didn't have a scene of him like because before they ask him to be Santa, he's like his boss is like, "Billy, I need you to do something for me," and he's like, "Anything, Mr. Sims. What is it? I'll do whatever you need me to do." And he's like,
golly
"Awesome."
willikers.
Yeah, and then it just cuts to him in the Santa suit, and I thought it was a little weird that there wasn't a scene of him being like, "I don't want to do that. no, I don't want to do that. I thought it was a little
It
weird.
should have
Like,
been that scene for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think part of it is maybe he doesn't know how to like
Say no. Yeah.
vocalize exactly what the deal is, because how do you say, hey, I got to watch my parents get brutally fucking killed by a Santa Claus when I was like 3, so it fucked me up now as an adult.
Yeah.
He's just
this
trying
was-
to fit in.
And this was the 70s, so it's like there's no way that people would have been open to that back then. Like now people would care, but back in the dark ages people didn't care.
In 1984, if you're 18, you've already killed like 5 people usually.
Well, they better these pussy liberals better pick themselves up by their bootstraps. That's what I'm saying.
Different time.
Don't allow some BTSB getting in the way of that.
Yeah, man. This
God
in
damn
the
it.
70s, it was still a lot like the devil all the time.
The devil all the time.
Hell,
The Santa all the time.
But after his long Santa all the time shift, I guess it's like Christmas Eve or something. They lock up and it's presumed they're having some kind of Christmas party, but it's literally just like the 5 people that
Yeah,
work in the store.
It's at
In
the
the
store, yeah.
Wait. Are in the 70s were toy stores open until like 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve?
I mean, I don't know, man.
I mean, I
Even I wasn't there.
I think I went to Target last Christmas Eve at that time, so yeah.
Damn.
I mean, it wasn't like you didn't go to like KB Toys or something, though. Like, I feel like it is a
it's
little weird
you
for
know,
it
it's
to be open that late.
It's a locally owned store, so they can skirt by some of the regulations. So I'll give it a pass.
This is before Big Toy took over.
It was also winter, maybe it just got dark super early. I don't know.
That's probably like the
They,
town hangout spot, because everyone that's working there decides to get drunk at the store, like in their
Yeah,
work
like-
uniforms and only with each other. They're like, yeah, party, but it's like 5 people.
Yeah,
It's one of those family work
as soon as
groups.
everybody leaves and they turn off the open sign, they start like pouring shots and they're like, "Let's get fucked."
Yeah, they
Man
grab
just
a
got
bunch of
like
liquor.
4 whiskey bottles from underneath the counter. Like he
just
keeps
underneath
that
the
shit at the
cash register.
register.
And you'd think that Billy would want to get out of that Santa costume as soon as fucking possible. Like as soon as all the kids are gone, he'd be like, "All right, I gotta go change." But he just hangs out in the suit.
He just sits there and looks weird the whole time. It's like, didn't you bring
Yeah.
clothes?
You think somebody would have mentioned it too? It's like, damn, you look hot. You're sweating your fucking balls off, dude.
Yo, you think he's
like-
going commando under that?
I don't know. Maybe that's just how fucked up he was. Because like,
Okay.
if he didn't have to say anything about the murders, he could have just been like, yeah, this thing's fucking hot. I'm gonna go change.
If I can jump back a little bit.
No.
Was it? Oh man.
Okay, go
so
ahead.
when he first has the first kid on his lap when he's Santa, it implies that he's like, again, because he has been traumatized to associate sex and violence with Santa, he seems to get a little like shamefully aroused when this kid sits on his lap, and oh man, it's so uncomfortable. He's like all this kid is doing is just sitting on his lap, and he's like, "You're being naughty." Oh, it's so
It's like
weird.
punishment. Like he's about to just like rip her fucking head off.
Dude,
I really
legit,
want to give
I
this
thought-
movie the benefit of the doubt and just think that we're the ones being dirty and not the movie, but it really was like it was very heavily implied.
Literally all that the kid was doing was sitting on his lap and talking to him like any kid would talk to Santa, and he says, "You're being naughty." Like it really seems to imply that
because-
he's like getting,
It's forming him into the evil Santa creature that he believes in. So he's becoming the evil one. It's not sexual at all. He just wanted to murder. He wanted blood.
He's
Dude,
like,
legit-
Santa's out of PS5s, god damn it, stop asking me.
when that first kid was on his lap and he was like clearly like losing his shit, I thought he was just straight up gonna like start strangling this 5-year-old little girl.
You just thought a murder spree was about to break out.
But yeah, they get shit faced, and then fucking the girl that he has a crush on goes in the back with his dick higher up coworker, I
yeah,
guess.
this dude's
Like
a
the
scumbag.
the assistant manager guy.
He kind of
Yeah.
looks like Harvey Keitel a little bit, like
It's
a
cool
young
because
Harvey
he's
Keitel.
got a key to the store.
And cowboy boots
That's right.
that he works in.
Oh yeah, can we also, well, if we can jump back a little bit, I also forgot to mention that Billy, when he's like 8 or 10 years old or whatever in the orphanage, he's wearing like the sickest, whitest cowboy boots.
Yo, he's got the kicks.
Dude,
They go up to like his knees, and they're just bright white.
all he needed was a giant white top hat, and he would straight up be Doug Dimmadale of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yeah,
Dimmadome.
Aside from that, the Letterkenny plaid, he was wearing a Leon Kennedy fur jacket. Like this kid had the drip on him.
He absolutely did, like through his whole life.
100%.
And then he goes on a murder spree in a Santa outfit, and it's just like it's the perfect encapsulation of everything.
Yeah, back to the party when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, so like the dickhead coworker and the girl that he has a crush on, they go in the back to, well, they're making out like in the same general space as everybody else, but they're just
they're literally
they're making out for like hours.
They're literally just in the back room, just like in the back warehouse of the store. They're not like anywhere remotely private. Like there's literally just like one door that's not even locked between them.
When they're making out, they're just like an aisle over.
Yeah, they're standing in front of the employee only door.
Yeah, and then
just
they
in
go
an
back
open
there.
aisle.
And then the asshole guy has like mistletoe, and he jiggles it above her head like and then he goes back, or they go back there, and Billy goes back there, and he looks like he's seen a dead body, and because he's just got like these dead eyes the whole time.
He goes wide-eyed the rest of the movie.
Well, he just stands there and watches them make out for a minute and like seethes with rage. And there's that and a few moments like in this movie where like someone is just, or a body is just there, and they like somehow don't notice. It's in their peripheral vision. But yeah, so she's like, they're just like making out like in the middle of the warehouse where anyone could see them. And then she's like, no, stop, we should get back. And then he like tears her shirt off and like starts trying to rape her. Again, like what was the plan here? Like I get he was kind of drunk, but he didn't seem totally shit-faced, like enough to like
He's just like, oh, you're a little tease, right? And we're like, what?
And again, it started with the feet and ended with her shirt being ripped open.
You're literally in the back room and the door to the back room is not even locked. Like your boss can walk in. Any of the three other people at this party could walk in.
Talk about shitting where you eat.
Right.
But yeah, then Billy comes in, and he's just got his like extreme Santa rage, and he's just like, naughty, and fucking kills the guy by like hanging him with a strand of Christmas lights, and it's great. He holds him up with one hand.
He does, dude. He like fucking
He's a grown man, and he's just like, nope.
Like that's a total Michael Myers kill. He just wraps around his fucking neck and just holds him up by it.
Yeah. He just like summons all of his like adrenaline strength and just he just like fucking bodies this guy. And dude, I don't think they make Christmas lights like that anymore. Like I don't think I could hang someone by my Christmas lights.
They don't have like load-bearing Christmas lights.
You can't just go to Walmart nowadays and buy a $4 box of mini lights and murder somebody.
I mean, not only did he like not only did the lights support his entire weight, but did you see that also when he finally like let go, the lights like were like cutting into his skin because he was pulling so tight.
I mean, maybe that was just his body weight coming down, but like, I guess we don't have like suspension bridge cables being made into Christmas lights anymore.
Yeah,
that's one thing. There's a surprising amount of detail to the gore in this movie.
Yeah,
gore is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like right after he kills this dude, the girl that he has a crush on is like she's just appalled, and she's like, "What the fuck? Get away from me!" I mean, granted, she did just witness a murder, but that guy just tried to fucking rape her, and she's not like, "Hey, thanks." Yeah. I guess maybe because he went too far, sure, and then he's just like, naughty, and he fucking guts her like a fish
with a box cutter. Like he like stabs her in the belly and drags it up her chest.
That's like some Walking Dead shit.
It's like he seemed like a Punisher type character for the first minute. He's killing a rapist, and then all of a sudden
sense of justice to it.
Like, we're just gonna kill everybody. He's like, naughty.
He doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
And then he comes out like, what did the store owner and like the cashier lady? What did they do that was naughty? Because he comes out from the back room and just kills them.
I mean, maybe it was the alcohol consumption. Although he was drinking too.
Yeah, exactly. He got shit-faced too.
The boss, Mr. Sims, is like, I thought I heard something back there. Like, it sounded like maybe, I don't know, rape or murder. I don't know. I want to go check it out. and he just walks back there and he's like, guess it was nothing. And then he turns around and sees Billy and he just like is holding a hammer up and he's like, ah!
and he just like crashes it into his skull.
Yeah. Oh, he brains him.
And then it pulls
brains him.
back because one of the next shots, he's laying there with a hammer sticking out of his head, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And of course, this freaks the cashier out, and she starts running around, and he's chasing her. And somehow she like hides in the corner of the store with like 10 boxes stacked. In front of
she
her.
manages to like get into a corner and like barricade like a fort of boxes in front of her for a second. I'm like, how did she do that quickly and without making noise enough for him to know where she was?
And why? But yeah, so then he chases her out of there. She's like going like for the door. She grabs something to like bust out a window, and he fucking pulls out this toy bow and arrow. Well, I guess it's not a toy bow and arrow.
Yeah, because that's an actual arrow.
He fucking shoots it like Rambo, and it just penetrates through her spine.
It goes right through her chest.
Did it go all the way through?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. There's like a little
It
bit
was like
of
he
arrow.
just killed a buck.
No,
There was like a
I
little bit of
thought
arrow
he-
in the back, and then it showed it again from the front, and it was like way out there.
No, I thought he shot her once in the back and then in the chest when she turned around.
I thought it went clean through the back.
Yeah, that's
I don't
what
think it
that was
did.
my impression.
I don't think it did, but I get
Maybe
whatever.
we were just hooting and rooting so hard that
Because that's when we were like, okay,
We're all like,
I'm
"Dude,
on board for this. This is great.
Yeah. Oh man.
If this is just gonna be like a blood fest, then I'm all about it.
oh, dude, once
it
the
is, man,
killing
because-
start, it gets to like a 10.
yeah,
it
because
never
I mean,
lets off the gas after that.
at that point, the movie becomes kind of like an anthology of murders for a while, where it's just like random different people that we haven't seen before, and Billy just stumbles upon them and just murders them. It's great.
Well, it's like two storylines. We've got the nice nun and the cops that are looking for him, but like they keep accidentally finding different Santas. Like there's one where a dad is dressed up as Santa and like going in through his daughter's window with a ladder, and the
Yeah.
cops just fucking bust into the house, like run upstairs with their guns out, and they're like aiming at the dad, and he's just like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah. Thankfully, they didn't
no
unload a
knock
clip into him.
Lawrence, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh,
Like, Jesus Christ, because then immediately he would have had to explain, well, Santa's not real. It was me the whole time.
Yeah.
yeah.
her
So
life,
we're fucking kids up psychologically, like all over the place. This movie. Oh, and then the next scene, like this might be the greatest set of kills. Is we've got this like young couple that are about to fuck on a pool table, and once again we do the tried and true like feet to tits shot because he's pulling open her shirt in the exact same way that the last two women have had their shirts pulled open. And
3. This would be number 4.
number 4,
Feet, and then it goes up to her shirt. Yeah, because there was the mom.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Nun.
and the sex scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, feet to tits. All
Yeah.
4 of shots are exactly the same.
yeah, and like, who fucks on a pool table? Just grow up.
Right? Like the felt surface, like that would hurt.
It's like, I'm assuming this is your house, right? Just like,
Yeah, no, and
especially if
also,
their parents aren't home.
well, and also like,
maybe it's supposed to be like a big sister.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. But and yeah, like she's like
And fuck
they're
on
having
the floor
sex.
like an adult. Don't ruin the
and-
felt.
They're having sex on a pool table, and like in the like right when they're about to get going, her little sister starts like coming down the stairs, and she's like, "But I wanna stay up and wait for Santa," and she's like getting like they're like making out, and he's like playing with her boobies, and she's like, "No, go upstairs. If you come down here, then Santa won't come," and blah. And she's like, "Okay." And then they keep having sex, and I'm like, you seem to, like, it doesn't seem like there's anyone else home. Like, get a fucking room. Why are you having sex out in the open?
Go in
when
your
he says
room and
Santa
lock
won't
the
come.
door.
And when she says Santa won't come, the dude whispers into her ear, "Neither will I," or something like that.
And of course we were like cheering. That is we're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, we always call stuff like that stupid, but in reality, when we watch it, we're like, hell yeah, guy.
My king.
I did get some solid Johnny from Karate Kid vibes from him.
Yeah. It was like
Oh, man.
the larva version of William Zabka.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then, like, so they start fucking, and she's like, oh, wait, before we start, I gotta let the cats in. It's too cold for them to be out. I gotta let the cats in.
And she
so
hears like jingling, and she's like, "Oh, it's I can hear the cat at the door
yeah, and
because
so
he's
she's
got
like,
bells on him."
yeah, Yeah, I guess he's got like a bell collar. And she's like, I gotta let the cats in before we start fucking. And so she goes to the door, and she opens the door wide open without a shirt on. By the way, like she's just like sitting there totally topless.
Yeah, with like cut off jorts, some redneck shit.
And yeah, so the cat does come in. And then finally Billy shows up and he's like, naughty! And then he just starts he just like picks her up and starts carrying her. And I thought it was a little weird that like he just seemingly picked this house. Like, I don't know, could he like hear them having sex from the road or something? Like, why did he pick this house?
Well, maybe he was walking by, like looking for a house to target. Woman? Yeah, and she was like, she had the door open and he was like, he's like, Milky's, and then he goes to kill her.
And as we know, he loves milk.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's another one of his like things.
It's established a deep lore for Billy.
But he picks her up and then impales her on this fucking taxidermized deer.
And dude,
through her stomach.
I hate that I didn't say anything, but I knew something like that was going to happen. But like earlier in the warehouse at the toy store when the killings first started, I thought he was going to grab like a toy reindeer off the wall and just like stab someone in the back with it. So when he impaled her on this mounted deer, I was like, hell yeah, that's what I wanted.
And it actually looked really good. Like, it did. Yeah, it was like a Hellraiser sequence. He was just like slowly pushing her onto it, and it's just coming out of her stomach, and blood's gushing out.
Yeah, it's brutal. It'll make some people squeamish watching it. It's pretty great.
Probably, actually,
yeah. It's pretty gnarly.
Too bad, because it's great.
Yeah. And then he kills the boyfriend, too. How did he kill him? Oh yeah, he like
yeeting him out the window.
Yeah, like he does put up a bit of a fight. Like he kicks him in the jingle bells, if you will, and then he like throws him out the window.
Yeah, then he just happens to get like impaled on a giant piece of glass.
Yeah, so, like, I don't think that's how glass breaks.
After the deer head kill, like pretty much anything could happen to that guy and you wouldn't care.
We see a lot of sweet death shots.
Yeah.
Like he just leaves that house and I guess he just wanders out of the neighborhood now and he's in the woods.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
He's just stumbling upon people randomly.
I never went out at like 10 p.m. to go sledding.
On Christmas Eve.
I actually totally did. 1 year.
Wow.
Like, my name's Justin. I like to get out of the house.
Like, unironically. Well, it was... So my birthday's on Christmas, and the one white Christmas I've ever had in lovely Metro Atlanta was, it was for my 18th birthday. And I remember it snowing the night, it was either the night before or the night of, I don't remember exactly which one, but like I went out sledding with my friends in the neighborhood. So I relate to this.
Well, how do you feel now that you could have gotten murdered by Santa?
I mean, we were like sledding on the street, so
oh my
that'd
God.
be a pretty interesting place to like, and we had a group of people. But we've got these two dorks that are sledding, and like they're starting to get bullied by these two other kids, which one of them totally looks 40.
Yeah, two of them just come out of the woods. Like, they're trying to be ominous. Like, there's two fucking geeks out there.
One of the bullies looks so old that Justin said something about him, like, getting bullied by his own dad.
He's just like, hey, pussies, get out of here. We're gonna sled now.
He's like, all right, Dad, I'll see you at home.
It shows these two dorky-ass kids out there just trying to sled. And they're like, it's trying to build, like, something ominous is about to happen. Like, oh man, I definitely heard something. And then just two other like 35-year-old dickweeds come out of the woods.
Yeah, they steal their sleds and start going down the hill. And one
guy goes first. They're like, yes, sir. And then
it's not even a steep hill that they're sledding down. Like, it's very, very small slope. But the first guy is about to go sledding, and he's like, oh wait, what if I hit a tree? And the guy's like, just go. Don't worry about it. So the first guy's at the bottom of the hill.
Pack your vagina and go.
The first guy's at the bottom of the hill, and then we get probably my favorite kill of the movie.
This is my second favorite because the deer impalement is my favorite.
Yeah,
that one is pretty great, but this one's probably my favorite. Wes, would you do the honors?
So as he's sledding full force down this hill at a premium like 6 miles an hour. Santa Claus.
That's generous.
Yeah. Santa Claus just fucking dips out from behind a tree and just whacks his fucking head off with an axe.
He's got like a fireman axe.
Like,
where did he get the axe again?
It was at the toy store. He took it from the toy store. I guess they had like a break in case of emergency.
Oh yeah, because that's how he broke into the house.
Yeah, where the couple was having sex. Yeah.
Yeah,
Out
was
of all the many
like,
weapon
chopped the door
kills, out of all the many weapon kills, the axe is the only thing he actually equips. I guess it's
Yeah,
his favorite weapon.
down.
He
He
likes
sheathed
to
his
do
Darth Maul lightsaber for the last couple.
he likes to do a lot of one and done weapon kills, like until he finds the axe and he's like, this is right for me. Like he kills with a box cutter, the lights, the bow and arrow, and then he finds the axe and he's like, hell yeah.
Oh my god,
Wand
dude!
chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter.
Oh my god, the box cutter. Okay, I got to go back to the house.
Oh yeah, you're right.
After he kills the older sister and her dumbass boyfriend, the little girl comes out. It's like, Santa. He's like, have you been naughty? And she's like, no.
No, I've been pretty good, dude. Like,
And he's like,
I've been great.
Are you sure? It's like, yes. And then he just like slowly holds out the box cutter covered in blood and gives it to her, then leaves the house.
Yeah, and the movie really wants you to be scared that he's gonna murder this child. And like for a second, he's like, "Are you sure you haven't been naughty?" And he's just waiting for her to say, "Well, maybe a little," so we can fucking ream her.
I don't know, Santa. I haven't committed murder this year yet, like you have. Like multiple today.
But so that's pretty much the only person that gets away. And then he beheads that other kid in the woods. How did this other kid get killed? Because again, this murder outweighs the other one.
He doesn't get killed. It just cuts and it's somewhere else.
He's just screaming that his friend got beheaded.
Yeah, like
because
the best part that I don't think you mentioned about the kill is that like so he like while the guy is sledding down the hill, Billy swipes his head clean off with an axe.
Swings
but
like a baseball bat.
Yeah, but the body, like the headless corpse, keeps sledding down the hill, and so his friend is just like waiting at the bottom, and this headless corpse comes down, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's dead!"
The head rolls down with it, like at the same time.
Yeah, and then it just fades to the next scene, and it's the next day. So yeah, the other guy doesn't die, as far as we know.
Okay, good. Well, yeah.
And this is where we get the cops, like the main.
This is where it gets a little too real with the cops.
Yeah, this is the part that like this aged like shit.
This hit a little too close to home.
Because so they're deducing that he's gonna go back to the orphanage where his little brother that was a baby when his parents got killed is still there. Playing the kids, the little brother's like way too young. Like he's still a really little kid, even though he's only supposed to be like 3 years younger. He would have been like 15.
They're not that. Yeah.
At this point, but whatever, dumb. And so basically, like, the police chief or whatever who's working with, like, the nice nun is saying, like, oh, we need to, like, have an officer over there because a Santa's gonna come in and, like, kill these kids. And the officer that they have pulls up, and there's just, like, a Santa walking into the yard, and he just fucking shoots him in the back.
He shoots him in the back, like, 3 times.
And like, kills the guy, and, oh, it's the wrong guy. And they don't do shit about it.
Well, and he yells at him to stop before he shoots him. He's like, "Stop! Stop! Come! Don't do it! Get away from him, kids!" And the guy won't stop. And so yeah, the officer shoots him 3 times in the back, and then it's revealed that it was actually Father O'Brien or whatever. And the reason he didn't stop is
Old
because he
guy's
was deaf. Yeah.
So he shot this fucking deaf old like preacher.
And there's
times
no
in the back.
consequences. They're just like,
Sorry.
well, oops.
He just
A for
continues the
effort.
investigation.
Yeah. The officer who did it just gets a couple weeks off of paid vacation. It's cool.
Well, I mean, he gets fucking killed like 5 minutes later, so I guess it's all is forgiven. But
Yeah.
Because after that,
yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like the throwdown at the orphanage. He's skulking around, he's trying to get up in there.
and
Yeah,
then
so he looks around. Sorry, he looks around. The cop looks around the orphanage. He's like, "Sorry, I killed the wrong guy, but I still gotta stand guard in case the actual murderer shows up." So he's
my
like
gun out
lurking
around a bunch of kids.
Yeah, he's like keeping his fucking like dude's got terrible trigger discipline. So he's
strapped.
like, yeah, keeps that thing on him. He's like skulking around and looking for the Santa. And there's like this like really drawn out scene where he like goes down into the basement of a tool shed, I guess, and like looks around for the Santa, and then it's like, oh, I guess he's fine. And then he comes back out, and at the top of the stairs, Santa pops out from behind the door and he says, "Naughty," and then stabs him with the axe, and he falls down the stairs. It's one of the more underwhelming kills in the movie, I'll say.
Yeah, that
For
was
sure.
the one and only that whole sequence of like the cop searching that little cellar and getting killed. That was the only section of the movie I was kind of bored. I was starting to check out.
It went on a little too long.
So he searched like a full room and then came out and then got
Yeah,
murdered.
it followed him like around the room, like slowly lurking and like
And I was
looking
like-
around the corner, and it was
I was
like,
like,
all right,
man,
get
we've seen like
was
we've
like,
got
all right,
quite
get
the
on with
body
it.
count. I don't care. Like, we don't need the
Yeah.
suspense building. We're in the last like 10 minutes of the movie because this is very short.
Yeah, it's an hour 24, I think. Yeah, something like that.
It's like Pixar movie level.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he actually does show up, and he's going for what the hell is her name? Mother Superior,
Yeah.
which is the maid like nun that was a total asshole to him as a kid.
Yeah,
And
and,
he's
it
just
seems
like-
like it seems like she's mellowed out in the recent years. Like she's
in
not.
a- she's in a wheelchair too, so.
Yeah.
And he's
She's
still
lost
gonna
that
go
edge.
and he's gonna go and kill her with this axe, and then he gets shot in the back 3 times by the like main police chief that looks like George Bush.
Yeah.
And then his little brother is looking down at his corpse and then looks up. Naughty.
And it freeze frames, and we have like a musical cue, like a. "Durr."
Yeah.
Credits.
And I also just want to say that when the George Bush cop shoots him in the back, he's also standing only like 5 or 10 feet away from him, and like the Santa's in between him and the kids. Those bullets easily could have gone through him and hit one of the kids.
Yeah, and he's got a fucking
cops are-
revolver.
Yeah, the cops are just totally reckless in this movie. They're awful.
Well,
I mean, what do you want,
c'est
man?
la
This is
vie.
basically Ackworth.
topical.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the end. That was probably the most concise like summer or like retelling of the story that we've ever done. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy to follow movie.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Great
Same.
movie. I can see myself watching this again.
Would you give it out of 10? I'd give it a 7.
I say an 8.
7, maybe 8. I'll give it an 8 because I really
say an
enjoyed
8.
it, and I definitely
Yeah.
want to watch this again. I want to show this to
Come
people.
on, Wes. Do it. Do it.
I'm really happy with you boys because I wasn't expecting a rating this high from you guys.
Come on,
Yeah,
do
I
it.
mean, as far as horror movies go, especially 80s ones.
Get on with it. Come on.
I give it an 8, all right?
Yeah, certified B.
Yay!
Certified B-roll boys fresh. B. So go watch it. Go rent it for $1.99.
That's art. Watch it with your shitty kids and tell them not to be naughty.
So
Try not to get thrown off by the weird shots that have obviously worse quality.
okay, I guess that's a good point to say something bad about it. And I'm gonna steal that one. It looks really shitty in some random shots for some reason.
I don't think that's fair because I feel like this was partially remastered. So like there's some shots that look like very obviously like maybe this was like expired. Does film expire? Like some kind of bad or tampered film, and then there's parts where it looks normal, and it's literally like it changes shot to shot. I thought for a while it was intentional, but then it's like it's too random. I don't see what
there's no
motivation would be there.
consistency to
Just
it,
like
yeah.
oh, the quality just takes a shit, and like
And it never started happening until they got to the toy store, and then we.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like that's what makes you think it's on purpose. Is it's like when the killings start, but then yeah, it literally is like just every like 4 to 6 shots, it'll just randomly look really shitty.
It's
for a
probably like
little bit.
10% of the movie that looks like that.
It's like
Yeah.
they remastered like 85% of the movie.
And it also does stop for a while. Like there are like I think like 15 or 20 minutes where it just stops looking like shit for a long time, and then it starts again. It's really weird.
But that might just be like the Amazon. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the file. I don't know if that's just the remastering job. I don't know. If, that's not
Also,
necessarily
I
something
rented
against
this-
the movie, but
I rented this on Google Play and I had the same problem. But yeah, no, you're
mine
right.
was on
You're
Prime.
right. You're right. It's not necessarily the movie's fault. So I'll say that scene where like we said, the cop searches for him in the cellar went on a little too long, and it was just a little bit drawn out. But not really too big a deal. This movie's great.
Hell yeah.
Anybody else say something bad about it?
Well, I just want to say the good thing is obviously the fucking kills.
oh, the kills are fantastic. That's why you watch
kills-
this.
The kills, the gore, it's like premium quality 80s somehow.
It looks
That's
really
what's
good.
Yeah, it's great, dude.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of like Stephen King vibes from this.
Big time.
I mean, Aside from what you said, Harlan, the only real bad things you can really comment on, I guess, is the acting. Obviously atrocious, mainly by like the kids and shit at the beginning. And the main dude himself, like everyone else in the store was pretty competent, but the main guy that played Santa Claus, I guess he was just trying to bug out too hard. But like,
I thought he was fine, but you're totally right. The kids in the very beginning of the movie are pretty not good.
same with the parents. I'm glad they were murdered.
Yeah.
Justin?
I need to think of a bad thing because you guys took my bad things.
They had sex on a pool table.
They were all very naughty.
Actually, yeah, that's my thing, is those two chumps decided to fuck on a pool table. They deserve to get killed.
Who does that?
Don't ruin a pool table like that. Jesus Christ.
Your parents out of town.
I don't care how horny you are. You have a floor. Ruin your floor, not your pool table.
Justin, your parents are out of town. You have your boyfriend come over to fuck you.
Right.
On Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
Right. Birthday
Don't
present.
do it on your pool table. You have literally
any other surface. Fuck on the toilet before you fuck on a pool table. God, that's my bad thing.
That was weird.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty atrocious, so we'll give you that one for sure.
I guess my only thing is it does start to kind of like drag towards the end. And by the end, I was kind of like, all right, I'm good. Like, let's get over it.
Just at like the very end.
Are you saying that you think there are some pacing issues?
I mean, occasionally, like, it moves at a lightning pace until the last, like, quarter of it, and then it's just, like, it just kind of farts along.
Well, you know,
but the
oddly
movie's so
enough-
short that, like, it's kind of, like, who cares? Because this isn't some 3-hour masterpiece like Waterworld where it's just shitty the whole time. It's like, oh, I had to deal with, like, 10 minutes of it being boring.
You know, I did think it was moving a little too slow at the very beginning, but in hindsight, I'm kind of like, no, yeah, it was good.
It set up a good, backstory.
It was kind of like once I saw like the full picture of like what they were doing with setting up the kids' trauma, I was like, no, yeah, that was good.
I actually did a good job with that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, all right, get on with it by the end. But that's my only bad thing, and that's really nitpicky, and I was having to reach.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 8 out of 10. I really liked it.
Certified beat.
Certified B. So, this being Certified B, I know there's some trivia.
Yeah, boo.
Lay it on
Okay.
me.
So, all the film's TV ads were immediately pulled off the networks because of the trailer showing Santa Claus carrying an axe, which practically depicted him as a mass murderer. This motivated
Like the
parents to
movie
protest. Yeah. This motivated parents to protest the film and instantly had it yanked out of theaters after making a profit with its limited release. Oh yeah, people were upset about this movie.
At least it made a profit.
And I think that people are babies now, but people were especially babies back then. The
Yeah, I don't
pearl
know, 'cause,
clutching at this. Jesus Christ. Like,
That's
this is
really
too-
weird to
This
me.
is too stupid to get mad at.
Yeah,
Well,
because
and
Black
also-
Christmas had already been out by this point. Like there was horror Christmas movies before this.
Exactly. It's not like this was the first time Santa had been like a murderer in something.
Dumb as rocks.
Yeah. The film was known as Sleigh Ride, and that's SLAY, Sleigh Ride, through its production. TriStar decided to change the title to Silent Night, Deadly Night at the last minute. I thought that was funny. Sleigh Ride.
I think Sleigh Ride's better.
I agree.
Both
I
are
agree.
good, but yeah, if it was Sleigh Ride.
Sleigh Ride's better, yeah.
I think that just rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, it's not as much of a mouthful. Many of the kill scenes were directed by editor Michael Spence due to director Charles E. Sellier Jr. Being uncomfortable with handling the gore-heavy parts of the film. Why did you sign on to do this movie if you were uncomfortable
What the
with that?
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I
really
wanted to
weird.
note that. I wanted to note that because you guys said that you especially really liked the way that the gore-heavy parts looked. And yeah, you have editor Michael Spence to thank for that. But Charles E. Sellier Jr., what the fuck, man? Why'd you sign on if you weren't okay with that?
If you
Oh
sign
my-
on a horror movie, what the fuck?
It's like you directed the worst parts, the acting.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to see a full movie directed by the editor now.
Yeah, he was a G.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and so this one is the last one regarding the drops in quality that we mentioned of the picture. 6 minutes of footage was edited out of the film out of fear of potential X rating, reducing the runtime from 85 minutes to 79. The cut scenes included a few extra character beats and some gory shots. For the Blu-ray release of the film, a search was conducted for the missing footage to prepare an uncut version of the film, and even though the footage was discovered in a TriStar Pictures vault, it had been kept in such a poor condition that any restoration would be impossible. If watching the Blu-ray, one can see the noticeable drop in quality between the standard definition inserts and the original theatrical footage.
So I was totally right.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So it just wasn't able to be remastered. I'm glad they put it in anyway.
they just like found it in a ditch somewhere.
But yeah, that's really interesting.
I'm cool
yeah.
with it. I mean, hey, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. So it's like, I didn't want to knock the movie specifically for that. Especially, I mean, if it's being added like way later, then fuck it.
It's almost 40 fucking years old. So,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude. Well, all right. What are we watching next time?
Well, I don't have, unfortunately, a campy archive of Christmas horror movies to draw from, so I'm just picking a normal shitty movie. And next week we are watching I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
Oh. That's unexpected.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right, so we're going to leave this with heavy hearts knowing that we're going to come in angry next week. So everyone
We
prepare.
need a punching bag. We need
gonna
something to totally hate. Like last week, so 2 weeks ago, we did Last Airbender, and it was fucking terrible, and we got to rage at it. And I figured that we could have another one that we rage at, especially since we kind of like this one.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's it. Eggnog boys, Christmas boys, whatever you want to call us.
Jingle
We out.
jangles.
Jingle bell boys.
Holiday redacted here. Bye.
Boiz.
I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second?
Hold on. You dig on multiverses?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Cover my eyes!
That's it. What, we some kind of...
B-roll boys.
All right.
Apparently, it took me a little under 2 minutes to piss.
How big was it?
Medium.
Yeah, I was right.